Welcome inside the kennel, the heartbeat of the dog game, where real breeders break down real experiences, and the experts drop the knowledge you can't Google. We talking structure, bloodlines, nutrition, training, wins, losses, and everything that makes champions in and out of the ring. This is for the ones who live it, breathe it, and build it, one lit at a time. Your host, Kevin, Ben, and Roderick. Lock in.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Inside the Kennels. Got Kevin here
And
Benny today. We're going to talk about, and I can say this because she put it on her jacket, that motherfucking poodle. But before we do that, I got one little thing I got to put out there because I just read it on Facebook again, and I'm tired of hearing this shit. If it is a son or a daughter to a stud, it is directly off of them.
oh shit!
There is not another way. You don't have studs out there adopting other kids. Just so y'all know, if it is off of a stud, it is his son or his daughter, and we know it is directly off of him.
As opposed to what? Like, so is it a direct grandson? I mean, can you have a direct grandson? I know what you're talking about. I never understood what the...
Now, I get it when, and I think this is where they kind of got screwed up and didn't understand is, so if you do a direct 2 times, right? That would be like his daughter back to him. That is a direct 2 times. As opposed to taking a half brother, half sister. That's not directly off of him a 2 times. Even though it is a 2 times, it's not directly off of him. But
So direct, the only time you would use it is when you're going back to the original stud from that line.
But other than that, no stud is out there adopting kids or got foster kids out there or, y'all cut it out. It's 2026.
Hey, listen, for 4 years, I've wondered, like, what is a direct son? I don't have one of those. What is a direct
And it just kills me to keep seeing that, oh, this is a direct whatever son. No shit. It come right off of him. Of course it's directly, but enough of that. I just wanted to throw that out there because I just read that on Facebook before I got on here.
That's Kevin's crash out.
That's my crash out. That's worse than saying the dog's a lilac carrier. But
Quad carrier.
Anyway, so let's
wait, one more though. Isabella Maker.
Yeah. I mean, I would rather them say it's an Isabella Maker rather than an Isabella Carrier, because you can't. But that's a whole rabbit hole. Let's get back to the poodle, because no. So
that was a direct.
Yeah, that was a direct hit on the dog world and pissed a lot of people off at the jungle.
I think the anger is coming. It's misplaced a little bit, I believe, because I think it's misinformation out there. It's been portrayed like it was the king of the heap. Yeah,
like it won the whole jungle best in show when it won the best in show for all breeds.
Yeah.
It wasn't. And June Williams show is known for having. June Williams is known for picking an oddball dog. So I get where people would think that June Williams would have that and that dog could win the whole jungle. And not saying it couldn't. June Williams is that guy that will shake the tree and piss people off for no reason. And I don't even care that it was at the jungle and that they had that. I know a lot of people are pissed off about it because that's all you're seeing out there is that.
I feel like it got a little bit more visceral because it was the jungle.
Yeah.
I think it might have slid at a lesser show, like a lesser.
Well, it has. I mean, this dog has been at some registries that are allowing it to be registered now, and that's where I disagree. I don't disagree. I don't fault this lady or her dog or any of that, because if somebody lets you in the building and lets you enter the show, we came from the racing world. If we knew there was a track, that we can whoop everybody's ass at, and they let us in, we were going to go there.
Well, yeah.
You know, if they didn't tech us and they didn't care what we run, buddy, I'm going to show up and I'm going to win this week. So you can't fault them for that. I just don't believe if you have a true judge in the ring that outside of maybe an XL, I don't think you get a dog, a standard Frenchie, a nice Frenchie. I will say this. I think there is some fluffy Frenchies that could compete with that dog, but the gait on that dog, the walk on that dog is what, because it just flows through the ring. It's just a natural.
That would be a nice thing to know for sure. Like
Right.
whoever judged that class, it would be nice if they explained what it was about that dog, because it's like I asked you, like, so why is it that a bully can't compete with it? Why is it so much of a big deal that it got the best in all breeds?
Listen, I read comments where they've seen these dogs at other shows where she goes and she stacks a dog by her table and picks up the other dog and goes and shows it. When she comes back, the dog is still standing there and ain't moved. So they're very well-trained dogs.
So they better hope she stays out of the stack off, what you're saying.
That's the other thing, but they're very well-trained dogs. The thing of it is they're very easily trained dogs too. They come from the hunting group, and nobody ever really pictures a poodle as a hunting dog, but that's where the poodle started. So, but the stride in the ring, and it just doesn't miss. I mean, you can get lost in that because you get exotic bullies that can barely walk around the ring. Then you get the micros that.
That's a whole nother deal. Listen, so like, should they even be considered if they can't walk?
They shouldn't be in the show ring.
Okay, I mean,
so and that's where I'm getting at this. They can get mad, but the dogs that would really compete with this one, and I don't care, fun show. Let's just say, for the sake of saying, that all of these dogs could show at an AKC show, right? Well, here you go. 90% of them is going to be disqualified because they can't walk in a ring. Let's take all DNA, colors, breed out of it.
And now, although this is a fun show, and all breeds fun show,
Right?
Like they had to do that, right?
Right.
Like I don't. It wasn't just stacking them.
I'm sure. You know,
Okay.
I don't know how they done that because I didn't go to the jungle, but let's just per se, all of these dogs could go to an AKC show. Let's take out the registry and put them on the top registry in the world of AKC. The only dog, if you watch the Kennel Club shows, you know what I'm saying? Your smaller shows, or your smaller dogs tend not to do very well in the best in show. They get overshadowed by a longer legged, well put together dog that gates, that has a. I'm not saying that they're not. I mean, the Frenchies is one. The Englishes is one. It's and still it comes down to a judge's preference of what they like. Now, here's my problem in the whole thing is I don't care that June Williams had them at his show. June Williams has had monkeys and snakes and birds and everything else. I'm just waiting for him to start letting them show their pigeons and their chickens in the ring. June Williams don't care. He will do something to bring people in.
As long as they'll walk on a lead, I don't see the problem.
And that's what I'm saying. So when you get to, my problem is this though. When it gets to a point where the bullies themselves, let's take the English Bulldogs, the Frenchies, everything else out of the equation. Just the American bullies. They have nowhere else to show but these fun shows and these bullies registries. TCBR, USBR, ABR, ICBR, all of these bully registries that are now bringing in these other breeds, it's kind of fucked up to me because it's like they're turning their back on the thing that put them in business to begin with, right? So if you bring the Poodle in, and this Poodle continuously wins best in shows, well, I get it.
So now, June's wasn't a sanctioned show, right?
No, June's wasn't a sanctioned
so the Poodle,
show.
has won at bully shows that,
Yes.
that were sanctioned?
Yes, and she didn't just make that jacket up for shits and giggles for the jungle. She's been hearing this because this dog has won at other shows. I ain't gonna lie. I was on the phone with Justin Ray not too long ago from TCBR, and he got a little cocky about his registry, and I told him, "You're a bully registry," and he's like, "No, I'm an all breed registry." No, it says it right there in your name. The Certified Bully Registry. You're never getting away from that. If you wanted it to be different, then it should have been the Certified Canine Registry, right? Change your name. Change your due. But the people that put them into business and made them the money and has got them out there is the bully breed. Whether it's Frenchies, American Bullies, English Bulldogs, that's really the Frenchies that can't go to AKC needed a place to show now. So we get lumped in with the American Bully now because they can't go nowhere. The exotic bully and all that. My other question to that is, why waste your time? And again, it's not a knock on the lady. Why waste your time at these shows with your dog?
Well, she's already there, right? Like, she's there. She's a bully breeder too, huh?
I don't know. I can't tell you.
I think so. I think she has.
I know the lady that shows it in the ring does not own the dog. That is the other thing. All right. She's the handler for the dog. And I seen where she posted online the other day that it's almost got an AKC champion. It's almost got a grand champion in UKC, which UKC is no better than TCBR, USBR. Nobody gives a shit about UKC. The thing is, I know from when I bred English Bulldogs, what matters in that pedigree is AKC champions, right?
No.
That I just know. If it's an AKC standard dog, the only thing that matters in that dog's pedigree is the bloodlines and how many championships it's got in its pedigree. So why... Everybody at the jungle's not going to go out and start buying poodles. I mean, as much as you'd like for them to, these people probably would, but I just...
She's the only one there, right?
Right.
So,
you know.
so no.
So-
I wouldn't say the pool's very big.
I mean, let's just call it what it is. It's just not... It's an oddity. Is it going to hang around? Who knows? Are they going to hang around very long, or are they going to start catching enough flack and bullcrap at shows that they don't want to show up to them no more either?
Well, so like I kind of see it in a different way. On that deal, I don't give a shit. Like if it was a Chihuahua winning, to me, I just want to know why, because that way I would know what it would take
To beat it.
to beat it.
And that's the thing. But here we go. So we've got bully people that judge bullies, right? And let's don't bullshit ourselves. None of these judges at the fun show or whatever have ever, none of them in the damn bully world are judged a damn poodle. You know what I'm saying? None of them. They're all bully. They got their name by becoming these judges at these damn, again, bully registry shows and fun shows. Okay, so now you bring a poodle in. How you going to judge that poodle?
Well, I mean,
Some of them never even seen a damn poodle till that one walked in the building. I mean, they might have seen one. The grandma might have had a little toy poodle when they was growing up, but it wasn't nothing like that. Where did they come up with the, okay, I know how to judge this dog?
I don't know. I guess if the dog is all that, like is I guess my question is how much? What was the competition like? So was it justified? Was it? I mean, was it hands down the best dog in the ring? Because I guess that's the other. I didn't get to go. You know, I took on these puppies to whelp, and so like I'm welded.
And that's the thing. I can see the dog. I've seen video of the dogs moving. I'm not saying I'm a poodle expert. My sister does have standard poodles, so I have been around them. I do know how very intelligent those dogs are. I'm not saying that I'm an expert on them by any means, but neither is these people judging the dog. So,
It's like I said, I questioned like how many. It was the jungle, so surely there was competition.
I think there was a Doberman. I know there's a Doberman out there that keeps whooping people's ass because I've read the comment a couple times. Supposedly there's a Doberman showing up. Again, look at it though, and this is where these judges, and they can like it or they don't like it when I say this, they get enamored by the gait of a dog, right? How it moves in the ring. Okay.
So what if I trained a bully to prance like that?
Well, and that's what I was going to say earlier. I know of a few fluffy Frenchies, and it's not just to me to toot my own horn. I think Flair's gait. I think Mr. Banks, Sub-Zero. I think dogs that are actually really worked with in the ring and understand it, and you can make them get that gait in them. That's what I was saying. I think the bigger American bullies, standard to XL, have a better chance of beating that poodle than an exotic one.
What about a boodle?
It's coming. I'm telling you.
I seen a fluffy bully.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing it like maybe it grows on me. I don't know. Yeah, it's
that Bulldoze Kennels or whatever in Chicago's got it. I know her, but
this was just a post on Facebook, and it was some guy.
Merle.
Yeah, I believe it was. Yeah.
Yeah, it was hers. I know the girl. I talked to her at Frenchie Bowl. She has a very nice cream Frenchie that is just structurally correct from head to toe. He is very nice. And then she got this fluffy bully, and I would fully expect from what I went back and looked at on her pages and all of that she'll turn that into a very good-looking dog. It's just in the inception of it.
I hope mine's a carrier.
Right. That
little girl that we got's a carrier. She's fluffy carrier, so
I've always said the fluffy bullies are going to come around.
I don't know if I got to see a better example before I commit.
But you got to think when the fluffy Frenchies come out, they were not nice.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
some of them still ain't.
And some of them still are not. And some of them are still out here tooting their horn like they had the best fluffy in the world when they came out. No, you had a fluffy that worked because there was no other fluffies. You didn't have the best fluffy in the world, and I don't know, but it's crazy. But I think it's going to take a dog like that to beat this poodle. And it's going to take a dog that is trained to be in the ring, not just shows up at a show every few months and we put him in the ring and we do a little work or whatever. You know what I'm saying? When Flair was showing every weekend and that little girl Ari was showing him, he could have competed. Him, Mr. Banks, Sub-Zero might have been the only three fluffies that I know of that could have competed against that poodle and gave it a run for its money because they were on point. There was some others out there, that went to shows. I'm not dogging everybody, but that's just the ones I know of. But I just think the way that dog moves in the ring and the way it handles, you know what I'm saying? It's you can tell it's a show dog. It keeps its head up. It keeps its nose ain't pointed at the ground when it's going around the ring.
Does that have as much to do with the breed as it does? I mean, that would be for it to be mad at the poodle. From what you're describing there, like that would just be hating on the breed, right? Like,
right,
you could train a lab,
and that's what I'm saying is you really have to. And some breeds take more work.
The bullies, I would
and some of these bullies, no matter how much you work with them, are too stiff-legged to get that gait that needs to happen to beat some other dogs. That's why they lose to. Rarely do you see the exotic or the micro win a best in show. And there's a reason for that. Because they don't move in the ring very well. Most of them have got fucked up legs and feet.
Well, that's because of dwarfism, right?
Right.
Like, I mean, you breed that defect into them for an aesthetic look.
So, and you gotta think about this. If a judge is in the ring and all day he's seeing this, right? Because usually there's more bully classes than any other class at a show. So you're watching all of these dogs that can't move, and then they throw a loop in there and they put a poodle in the damn ring, and I don't care who you are. That dog just flows through the ring if it's been trained, and it's just been. I mean, my sister's got some that spazoids that probably wouldn't win, but but that dog, I've seen a video of it move. You just can't beat the walk of that standard poodle. I don't give a damn. I don't know how many best in shows it's won, how many times it's won the American Kennel Clubs, or the whatever that one is they always show at Westminster.
Yeah.
Whatever. Poodles is always in the final because they just
fine. That's it. Them boys mine got them Australian Shepherds.
Yeah.
And they got one that they're gonna run to a standard poodle. So there you go.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what's going to beat the standard poodle is an
Right.
Aussie doodle.
Right, and that's. But again, you can't fault this lady for showing her dog. If they let her in the ring,
I'm not faulting her.
and that's what everybody's
everybody's that
griping.
twisted up, if they're that twisted up about it, like fucking get something to beat her.
And here's the other thing: the dog shows that this is happening at, for the most part, are not really even dog shows anymore. They're a circus with dogs at it. I mean, let's be honest with it. Off the Leash 3 is gonna have a damn boxing ring there.
Hey man, I'm gonna just go out on a limb and say that's probably not gonna work out. But
that's not the best ideal to ever have in that environment. You already got people wired up over dogs and wired up because they come to the damn venue smoking meth. And I mean, I just
weed maybe like you just, I smell weed. I don't.
I mean, yeah, because weed is I've seen a few of them chewing their ear off at the shows, but besides all that, that is just, and in my opinion, and that may be a lot of people's cup of tea. Like I said, there's one.
No, listen, it will work because if they really do have that, I'm gonna go to watch it. I'm gonna go watch.
I said there's one particular breeder. If they can get him in the ring, I'll be there, and I'll lace them gloves up. But we ain't doing it for the $2,500 or whatever they're putting up for the winner. We're doing it for
the winner. Wait, are they doing Tough Man? Is that what this is? Brackets?
Nah, I wish they would, but they just got a couple matches going on. I think they're giving like $2,500 to the winners, but I don't want their money. I want the other breeder in the ring.
Is this
and
like
whoever loses
is
out of the world?
Is this so? This is gonna be like a Logan Paul, Mike Tyson kind of deal to where like, oh, you can hit me, but not that hard.
I don't know,
because if you can just let loose and throw hands. I mean, somebody gets their mouth broke, the jaw broke.
I did see where they are going to wear the headgear, which is a help, but it doesn't stop
your nose broke.
Right. A good uppercut still going to jack your teeth up. I mean, it's still going to dislocate your damn jaw if you get them right.
Mike Tyson was knocking people out in the Olympics with
yeah.
headgear,
So I just don't. I don't know where the dog shows are going, and these are, again, these ain't the registries doing it, so I'm not too worried about that because it's just big fun shows where these people are grasping at the last straws they got to keep their name relevant and their shows going. Not to say that about June, because I don't give a shit. June could announce tomorrow that he's throwing a show in the parking lot behind Walmart off of 4th Street in Lubbock, Texas, and there'd be 3,000 people show up to that son of a bitch. So, but he's commanded that respect in what he's built. And anybody that's ever followed June knows, don't dick with him because he will. If they want to bitch about that poodle this year, he'll make sure that there's 50 poodles in the building next year. He'll find the people to show up just to show you, hey, this is my damn show. And the only thing I seen that I heard him say is that he didn't ever start it as a bully show. Yeah, you did.
I didn't know it was anything else.
That's, you can't say you never advertised it as a bully show. Bro, that's the world you came from. That's what put you on the map. That's where you started
Maybe
building
it wasn't
that.
advertised, but it was implied.
It is, you know. And
Was there bully classes outside of this year? Before this year?
Nah.
Well, I mean,
see,
there
and
was
that's what I'm saying. All that was there was bullies, Frenchies, English bulldogs. Come
Yeah.
on, it was a bully show. Hats off to him for expanding it, letting other ones come in. I know Off the Leash 3 is supposed to have an all breeds, but I'm just telling you, if it gets to where these other breeds that 2 or 3 of them are showing up to a show starts winning the best in shows at all of these shows, they might as well cancel their show because they're going to lose their customer base of the bully breeds, of the Frenchies that can't go to AKC and show because they're not AKC requirements to get in, and the bullies have nowhere else to go. ABKC might be the closest bully registry to come out that is getting to like an AKC status, right? Because they held a standard.
Yeah, they're a little bit. I mean, I've been to those shows and I like that. And we're gonna go to that one in June. It's
Yeah.
I guess they're gonna have 3 or a bunch of shows all at one, but it's dull.
It is.
Like unless you it is 100%. Like there is no.
It is about the show ring.
Yes, 100%. Like the rest of it, like it's not. It's not all the.
It's not all the loud
glitz
music and the
bullcrap.
flashy and
Yeah.
in which I personally like, but I personally don't have a dog I can show in ABKC.
I like that there's a choice.
Yeah.
I do like there's a choice. Like I like to go to all of it, and we have a couple dog, White Boy Rick and Teddy. That's
Right.
who we're taking to that
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, and that's. But the dude that owns ABKC, he is staunch on the standards of the American Bully. He don't believe in the exotics. He don't believe in all that. They got to a standard, and that's what he said. If you never create a standard,
But they show pockets and they show.
they show pockets and up, but if you notice, they all got muzzles. They all got tails. They don't like the.
So what makes an exotic? Because I'm new to the bullies. I just I kind of fell into it. I decided just like I do everything.
So when their face
there's
is
no
really
research.
smushed-
There's no research
Right.
for me. I just wake up one morning and go, I want a fucking bully.
Right.
And so then I go start searching out in the world how I'm gonna make that happen.
So a pocket bully should have the muzzle, right?
Yeah.
Not extremely long muzzle, but should have the muzzle. Should have the look. Should have a full tail. Should be, I think it's under 13 inches.
Oh, I went on their website and was looking at the classifications, so to see where mine would fall, because that's the other thing is you don't really know until they're grown. Like especially if your dogs were on the edge of
Right.
those limits, it could.
But the good thing about ABKC at most of their shows is when you show up, they got the wicket. They're going to stack your dog up, and they're going to measure it and tell you your dog's too tall for this class, too tall for
So
the
when
pocket.
you register your dog with them, it's not you don't classify the registry then. Like you don't go. This is I registered it as a
you
pocket.
should be, yeah. But problem is, if you register it as a pocket and she turns out to be bigger than a pocket,
Then what happens?
you just go up a class. I don't think it ever changes on the papers.
Oh,
but
okay.
They're not going to let you show in the pocket class.
So when I get this XL, I could register it as a micro.
Right, but it's going to be. But they're going to
But
tell
that
you
would
pretty
affect
quick.
the breeding though, right? Because
Right, I mean, if
the
it shows.
ASDR,
Yeah.
which is who registers it's American Stock Dog Registry for the healers, the shepherds that we got.
Right.
They you have to actually go to a show and have one of their judges certify anything outside of a standard. Like
Right.
they got miniatures, right?
Right.
Or minis. Like they had to be certified through their parents did
Right.
at some point, and then you have to breed that certified mini to another certified mini. And if you go a mini to a standard, it don't matter how small your dog is until you go get that dog
Recertified.
reevaluated
Right.
through a judge at one of their shows. Like it can only be registered as a standard.
Right.
So they're not doing that with the bullies then, huh?
Well, not. I think they may change it on the paperwork. I don't know how ABKC works because I've never really dealt with ABKC because again, when I was in the bullies a little bit We had ABKC papers. But again, I didn't have exotics. I had standard. I had pockets, but most of it was USBR because USBR was the hot thing at the time, and USBR and ABKC, right? And then ABKC stayed course. And this guy that owned it said, "Look, I'm setting a standard, and we're not letting all this other crap in. This is what the standard."
So there won't be no poodles there.
No, you probably not. I'm not going to say that they're not going to open up to all breeds one day, and they may. But if they did, I would trust that registry more than I trusted some of these other ones. You know what I'm saying? Because at least they have a standard, and they're very strict on. That's why when you see an ABKC judge come to, per se, a Frenchie Bowl or one of these fun shows, if they try to stay away from the ABKC judges because they are very strict on the.
They don't like fluffies.
Well, they do not like fluffies, but they are, and you're never going to win. An exotic's never going to win the show. Period. Point blank. End of story. They're going to judge the classes they have to judge in that, but they don't like them. But when it comes to a best in show, they will ignore them dogs. But it's how they're trained. You know what I'm saying? And I would rather have a judge that's that way. But you also know you can't hire them for a fun show and all that when you got all these different.
So, I guess we're going to get off here, but this interests me because of what I'm doing now. But so how? I know they have a standard, so it's just a look that you have to achieve because you can't tell me these micros that they're doing now, the nanos, they got nanos. You're crossing those dogs, right? Right. I understand the bully is a cross dog anyways, but you do get to a point where you're like, okay, this is what we like, right?
I'm trying to think of the guy's name, Dave something, I think, that owns the ABKC. We all know that they mixed something with the pit bulls and all that and started the American Bully. But like he said, you can never be, because everybody's like, well, when, because there was other breeds being added to AKC. Well, when is the American Bully going to get added? And I used to watch a lot of his podcast and his YouTube channel, and he was like, we can't present our breed to AKC until we actually have a standard to present to them to get them recognized by AKC. If we're just out here doing all of this willy-nilly stuff, creating nanos and micros and exotics and all of that, AKC's never going to accept that. We have to have a standard to start off with. So he became the standard, and this is what he's locked in. And if you don't like it, don't come to ABKC. That is their thing, which I can get behind. Even if I don't have a dog to show there, at least I know, hey, look, the reason I can't show there is because they have this standard. It's no different than AKC. I can't take Flair to AKC and put him in the ring because they don't accept fluffy Frenchies in the ring. Would I like them to? Yes. I would love to go show AKC, but I don't. Again, until we fucking get it back to the breed standard, or they recognize that, okay, the fluffies are a Frenchie, but they're not the exact same breed standard, and that's the other thing.
Have they done that with other breeds? I can't think of one. Where it's really close. Like a fluffy and a Frenchie.
You got the short-haired wiener dog and the long-haired wiener dog, but they're both wiener dogs. They both look like wiener dogs.
Yeah,
right?
This is just a coat difference.
Just a coat difference.
The fluffies are a little bit. There's a little difference. They're
is.
Visually, not just coat. They're
right, and there's some that's getting closer back to the standard, but we're not there, and we're probably never going to get there unless somebody just cracks down and says, hey, like, say, ABKC says, okay, this is the standard for the fluffy also, which is the same standard as AKC has and the same standard they use. If your dog fits this, even though it's fluffy, it can show. We'll make a category for it, right? and then everybody starts breeding to a standard. But right now, everybody is still chasing DNA on top of Fluffy, and they didn't even fix the damn Fluffies before they started chasing another DNA.
Well, good news is they're out. They're out of DNA to chase for the most. Now, so the Floodles, like that's all something different. Like that that is not.
That's a
Frenchie.
whole. So, without giving
That is a subcategory.
and that's the thing is. There's a whole market for it, just like the Aussie Doodles, the Labradoodles. There's a market out there for the Floodle.
Just like there was Labradoodles. Like they took off when they first came out.
But again, you at least want it to look half-ass somewhere in there like a Frenchie. You know what I'm saying? At least some of the Fluffies that are out there now, even some of the smaller Fluffies, you got to do it. But here's my thing. The Floodles that are out right now, I don't know why you call them a Floodle. None of their hair is like a poodle's hair. Look at that damn poodle that was in the ring. Show me one of the Floodles that you've ever seen that's got the hair that you could do that style cut on a poodle, on a Frenchie.
Man, I don't know. That one that Isaac got, I think that dog's hideous, but it's because he has that. I don't like poodles. And it's because of their coat. Now, I had one when I was a child, or my parents did, that scarred me because it was a shit ass. But, like, I don't like that coat. I don't like it. Like, when I look at it, like, I do not like that style of coat. And that, if you're, look up, what is that dog's name? Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He was just running it.
So you don't like that?
No. No. Is that the best thing AI could do with a?
Yeah. So
even AI's like, I can't get behind this.
But you know that's, and let's look at it because Brianna was watching some stupid movie about some lions earlier, and I was looking and I thought, man, I could shave Flair's hair to make him look like a lion.
That's how you beat a poodle right there.
That's how you beat a poodle, because a poodle is groomed. You know what I'm saying? And it is when it walks. I mean, it's got this poofy thing on its head that even moves. There's so much to look at as a poodle going around the ring. Again, to go back a little bit, you're watching all these bullies and shit go through the ring all day, and all of a sudden this poodle comes through to a judge that only does bullies and shit like that. This dog's got all kinds of shit going on. You don't even know where to look. You don't even know if the dog has a flaw over here because you was looking over here. It's crazy.
Oh, I was trying to. Oh, there it is. I think that's what. No, that's the dog I bred too. But he's got a Floodle that I want to say it's full. I don't know. I'm gonna be lying.
It's full, I think it's full poodle with 5% Frenchie.
I think it's full pink and our double furnishings. Like it guarantees you that teddy bear. So that's the other thing. Like, some people call it a teddy bear coat. Some people, I don't. Is there a difference between a Floodle and the teddy bear coat?
And I say no until one of them can explain me the difference in their coat, and they don't want to because they're like, well, it's this or it's that.
This joker right here. No, you gonna tell me you can't shave this sucker? Oh, that's if you gonna call something a Floodle, that is a Floodle.
I can see it, but
you don't want to accept it because that's ugly.
Well,
but that is a Floodle. That is what happens when you put a Frenchie to a poodle.
You just show me and man, I don't just
that
like
son of a bitch needs to be shaved. Somebody call Isaac, tell him to groom that up.
Isaac is a good guy, but I don't see none of his stuff because I've been blocked for 4 years on his social media. He's blocked me because he don't like that.
Yeah, this one's even lit up better. Like you can that looks like a Frenchie ate a poodle.
But here's the thing: when we're adding all of these furnishings in there, if you don't groom these dogs the right way,
no, but stop. Like that's what you want to sell.
No,
that's a Floodle.
But that's what I'm getting to. It is. But if they washed that dog and groomed that dog the right way and brushed its, So, Flair, I can wash him. I can blow dry him. His hair is his hair. It lays down. It's not all kinky. It's not all curly. It's not nothing. That is his hair, right? Carrot, I can wash him. I can blow dry him. His hair's curly as hell. It's all over the place. But the fact is, if with these floodles and stuff, if you don't groom them, if you don't brush them, if you don't do something with them, they just look like.
That's a side shot.
Yeah,
that's a poodle coat. That's what you're talking about. It's not groomed, but that is a.
That's what I'm saying is they don't.
No, it's not groomed like that show groom. Now I don't know. I'm not saying the dog's dirty or nothing like that, huh?
It is.
That you think that dog's dirty? Man, that dog. Well, that could be the color of the dog, huh? What's the DNA on that dog?
2 copies of dirt.
2 copies of dirt. It's got 2 copies of furnishing. That was what the deal was. Wait, it's BB, so it's Isabella. Oh, does it got D?
It's cream.
I can't get my phone to cooperate. I'm gonna have to buy a new phone. That's all there is to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is cream. Yeah, it's a new shade Isabella. Covered in cream. With 2 copies of furnishing.
And they don't even know what the hell the furnishings do. And they don't even know what kind of furnishings they got and what they do together. That's the whole other problem. Is that you can't. They don't. They're putting all of this in there, but they don't know how to make it work, right?
Well, hell, I don't either. That's why I ain't messing with it. I'm going to mess with the bullies. I feel like that's simpler.
And it is. And again, and none of this was ever meant to even crack on the bullies that the exotics or the micros or none of that. They just have to understand that if this is the direction that the registries are going, that they're going to let all dogs in.
Well, that dog's not pink. I was wrong.
They're going to have to understand that they're going to have to change the way they breed the bullies, right? Especially if you want them in the show ring.
Yeah, like
because right now it's a poodle.
Like the stack off chimps,
right?
I don't think you could ever get mad that they're not winning in the show ring. Like right. if you have to walk, like right. I mean, hell, some of them even if you got to stand,
right?
Like,
you know,
some of them are pretty
and even in a stack off, if their legs are jacked up, I don't give a shit.
Right.
If they're jacked up, they shouldn't win the stack off. If their legs are all deformed and under them, like.
That's how you're gonna get you. It would take years though to get that stigma because that's a small group. Listen, so when I started looking for a bully, that's what I was scared of. I was like, man, like, can you tell that early on? I don't want to get
here's the other problem.
2 years into it, I'm like, holy shit.
When you start getting into the bigger bullies, the standards and the XLs, a lot of them have easty-westy feet. And they walk with those easty-westy feet out there. You know what I'm saying? So again, when you have to go against a poodle, and that fucker's on his tippy toes, and it's just prancing around the ring, and what they need to understand is that's a standard poodle. They go all the way down to a toy or a teacup poodle.
Yeah.
AKC recognizes that. You know what I'm saying? So you want to if they're pissed off that a standard is beating them. Wait till somebody brings in a little 4-pound teacup poodle all shaved up like that one and takes it around the ring and just wears everybody's ass out with it. The poodle is it's just the beginning.
I think right now the poodle's just out front. Like it's like anything.
It's the only thing out there
in that show. In that show, right. It's out front because that hasn't been the style of training you had to do for your bully to compete in the show, right? Because it hasn't been a sanctioned.
Now I will say this about June's show, and about June as a judge overall. He will tell you if your dog can't walk in the ring, it's not his fault, and it shouldn't win. I mean, he's picked a pit bull, and that's his words. If you let him in the building and you let him enter the show, then that's on you, because if you put him in the ring that I'm judging in. And that dog works better and looks better than all the other dogs in the ring, and it's the only damn dog in the ring that can walk, it's going to win. So, but the bully people need to realize that as the money slows down for the registries, as the market dwindles in the Frenchies and in the bullies, right? The only way the registry can stay alive, per se, I mean, they can throw shows, but the registry goes stagnant after a while. So how do you do it? You open it up to other breeds. And, you know, some people don't want to chase AKC because AKC's all faluti and high, you know. You may not want to go deal with that, you know, like the ABKC style dull shows where they're just so.
I don't mean to be disrespectful on that.
No,
it's in a
not,
comparison to a boxing ring at a dog show,
right?
That was the comparison.
ABKC is all business. Let me rephrase that. Not a doll show, an all dog business dog show.
Yeah, it's a dog show.
That's what you're at. Whether you go to AKC, ABKC, that's what they're there for. Is the dogs, not the music. Not the bullshit. Y'all can do business on the outside of the ring, do whatever you got to do, but it's about the show ring.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I don't even think it's a networking deal. I feel like when I've been to those shows, It is a dog show. It is competition.
Yes, and that's where they are. So if these registries open it up and start letting other breeds in, the bully people are going to get upset because the trophies they used to get just aren't going to come as easy as they used to, because now you're opening it up to breed standard dogs.
Man, that's such a fine line you're walking there with those consequences. Like if that's what it is and it's not as easy to win anymore, that it kind of makes you a bitch. But I see what you're saying. Like if it's not, competition's not fair.
So you have a handful of people. So there's the lady CC that shows at TCBR, USBR a lot. She's got some AKC standard Frenchies. Will wear your ass out on any given weekend. Wear the bully's ass out on any given weekend. And she ain't going to like my next comment, but the reason she ain't at AKC because they ain't AKC standard. Because them dogs is a little lanky and a little scrawny for the AKC show ring. And there's a reason she sticks where she does. Not saying she can't produce and go there, but let's don't bullshit ourselves. So, but again, that's where you're going to get the people that go to AKC and their dogs are not just quite good enough to get over the hump to be AKC champions. Well, then piss on this. I'm going to quit wasting my money going to these shows. If these little registries are going to let us in and let us say we're a champion and let us do whatever, then I'm going to go over here. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a more fun atmosphere to begin with. It's a little more, you know what I'm saying? And it's a whole new network for them to bring their dogs into somewhere where, again, there's only damn Poodle in the building.
It's Poodles by next year.
You know what I'm saying? So now everybody's like, maybe I need to get a Poodle. June Williams may have a damn standard Poodle class of 60, 70 damn Poodles next year, because people are just that way. They're going to think, well, that's the trend we need to follow. So I don't know where it's going to go, but I know it's going to alienate a whole breed and a whole group of breeders when they bring these other dogs in. I just feel like it's kind of a slap in the face to the bully breeders that supported and made this. Like TCBR, they ain't been around but for a few years, right? I know. I mean, they just started a few years ago. Flair was their first fluffy champion. So, and I quit going because he couldn't become a grand champion because there wasn't enough fluffies to go against to get points to be a grand champion. So there was no need in me going to the shows anymore, showing Flair, because he'd done all he could. I could go every time and win the champions category, whatever, but I never gained any points for a grand champion. Now they've got quite a few. I could go back. I ain't going back, but I could if Flair wanted to, and could. They wouldn't give him a grand champion now. But anyways, a whole nother topic. But anyways, but that's what I'm saying. So they haven't been around. But what got them started and going is the American Bully.
Well, it'll be strange if they start. I guess you can register a poodle with them. Is what
They've
you're saying?
already opened it up to all breeds, you know. Again, no disrespect to Justin Ray, but until he cleans house a little bit, they're never going to be nothing but a second-rate bully registry because he's got some snakes in the grass that he needs to clean out over there. I have no doubt that him and his wife couldn't turn it into something like ABKC. Both of them very driven. His wife is on point with all of that stuff. He's just got some loyalty to people that he shouldn't have, and he's got some trash he needs to take out for that registry to really, really take off on all breeds. Because as long as he's got Humpty Dumpty over there that's going to continue to rig the shows in favor of his buddies and whatever else, well, then you're going to run the risk of when these people with these other breeds show up and they're going to be like, well, I'm not going to go if all they're ever going to do is let the American Bully win.
So what would have to happen for that? Like, I mean, every show, like I just started messing with the shows last year, but every show there's that sentiment. Anything that a human judges, a prize fight. Like there's always a disagreement that.
When have you opened Facebook up and seen a whole group of people going ballistic about an ABKC show?
No, I don't.
How many times have you seen it about a USBR, TCBR,
I'm
fun
pretty
show?
New now. I'm not the one to ask because I'm pretty new to
But
all of this.
I mean, just in the last couple of years, I can name every registry but ABKC that has had a big blow up online where everybody's just trashing them because the dogs that won shouldn't have won, or the same dogs is winning, the same people are winning the same. You don't hear it about ABKC. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. I'm just saying it's very rare. It's very non. And plus, the people, again, that's going to those shows are there to show, and their dogs are very well trained.
I was going to say, that's a different, like...
But what are they striving to be?
Well, I mean, the ABKC shows that I've been to, that's a different dog. Like, because when you go to these fun shows, when you go to these other... the only one I haven't been to is the TCBR, so I don't want to say anything until I'm going. But, I haven't been to one of those shows
I'm going to tell you, their shows
are
are fantastic. Absolutely. I have never been to a TCBR show that was just a complete and total flop. I mean, when TCBR joins up with the show host to do whatever, they do everything they can to promote that show, to get people in the building. I've never been... I've seen a couple of them here recently, but they were in Lubbock. They were just dead to the world. You know what I'm saying? They're a little town, Monahans, Texas. There ain't nobody there, and nobody wants to go there for any reason. But there was a guy that threw a show down there, and by the end of the show, he was wishing he had rented a bigger building. That place was packed. They got people to come in from everywhere. Pete Ellis showed up. Everybody was there. Flair was in the building. There was just a bunch of people, and it's continued on. But like I said, so USBR used to be the hot shit. I mean, I went to USBR Nationals in Oklahoma City one time. They had like 3 show rings in that place. It was just going crazy. It was like the jungle. I mean, there was that many people in there. All the big breeders from all over were in there. But the same trash that I was just saying is at TCBR was in USBR. USBR took a drastic downhill nosedive. But it was because the shows were rigged, and it wasn't even like they were trying to hide it anymore. And
so how do you get in on this rigging? That's what I want to know. Who you talk to about the rigging?
It's not.
I'm not talking about stopping it. I'm talking about being one of the rigged.
Well, that's the thing is, and people say, "Oh, Kevin, you're talking shit because of this and talking shit because of that." No, I'm talking shit because I know. Let's be honest. The owner of USBR at the time, Ed Shepard, at that Nationals event, turned around, told me and the guy I was standing there with, Terry Curtis, that he doesn't even judge the dogs anymore. He judges the women that shows them. Well, we laughed, you know. Well, Brienne took Terry's dog in next. She was the only girl in that class she won. Then I have to take my dog in next, right? And there's another guy. I had a blue and tan. Off of his lines, off the Dax lines and all that. Pocket, very well put together dog. I'm looking at this other guy. He's got a black and tan, and we're looking at each other like the other three didn't even have full tails on them and all of that. And that this class was supposed to. This is well before the exotics were okay to do this. Their tails were kinked, and some of them didn't have tails. We go in the ring, and me and that guy don't even place, and he gives first, second, and third to the three women showing them ugly-ass dogs. And then I got to notice he wasn't bullshitting. All that won all day in that show was women.
Well, I mean, it's an easy fix. You just got to get your woman to show your dog.
I mean, their guy did. The guy told his damn 16-year-old daughter, tie your shirt up. He pimped her ass out. And I thought, now that's ridiculous. Your 16-year-old daughter and your old lady, he had them both out there. And I'm like, you a sorry motherfucker for doing it. But he won every fucking class they entered. They were showing other people's dogs, and they were fucking winning.
Well, so you can question the method, but you can't question the results.
So anyways, his little right-hand guru, Toby Santos, that was part of USBR and all of this shit, then he got to where he wasn't even doing people's paperwork. He wasn't doing this, but there's groups of people in Lubbock that have rooms and rooms full of trophies that didn't deserve them just because they were buddies with Toby and part of his camp. And he's continued that over into TCBR. I mean, let's don't... I'm not going to sit here and play like I ain't got the messages where he's telling somebody, you could come on down. I'll guarantee you Ric Flair's never going to win the Best in Show as long as I'm at that show ring, right? As long as I'm at that show, Ric Flair's never going to beat your dog. Why? Why does he not like me? Because I'm from his hometown and I got more fame than he did. That's the only reason, because me and the motherfucker ain't never done business together.
Sometimes people just hate.
Well, they can just hate me. I mean, he can hate me because I talked a lot of shit. I don't care that he hates me. But that has nothing to do with that show ring. If you're going to be part of a registry and part of an owner, and they can't say he ain't because his name's on the bottom of Flair's champion certificate, and this is another way I know it's rigged. I wasn't going to go to a show in Abilene because Ari, our little girl, couldn't show Flair, right? And he only needed, I think he needed 50 points or 40 points to champ out under another judge, right? I took Big Rob out there to do a TCI for a breeding that Rob was doing to one of his dogs, Toby's. Really the only time me and Toby's ever had a real conversation. And at the end of the conversation, he's like, you going to the show this weekend? And I was like, nah, Ari can't go. So I said, I don't have my handler. And he looked at me, he said, you should take him because he'll champ out this weekend. And I didn't think nothing of it. And then I thought, you know what? Fuck it. We'll go. I put him in the ring. He needed to make the Best in Show to champ out that day, right? He needed to be in the Best in Show class to champ out that day. That's as far as we made it. But I also know the guy that was judging the dogs was Toby's right-hand man.
Well, I mean, it's not far-fetched that Flair would win a class, though. That's all you had to do to go to Best in Show, right?
But you're failing to ask the questions, how many times has he made that? Because, see, you can champ out and never make the Best in Show class.
Oh, so it's just a point system
It's
for
a
showing
point
up?
system.
For showing up, right? That's all.
No, not for showing up. You still have to compete. Like, I have to be the best male and then the best of whatever. You know what I'm saying? But if he wins best in male, best male Frenchie, but he loses to the female Frenchie per se, right? Every time, which I did because that CC had the female. I always lost to her. Ari always lost to her. We never got to go, right? We never got to go to the Best in Show. Why that day? Why did I beat CC that day? Because her dogs were still on point that day.
I don't know. That's the thing about a judge is just that I don't know, man. Like I feel the need to push back so it's not just a gang up deal, but I don't know. Like anytime you involve people, when you have people involved, it is not going to be consistent. So that's what.
In the moment, I was happy we champed out, right? I could give a shit less. But looking back on it, that's why I don't really push the whole champion thing. I mean, Flair deserved it, and he was going to get it no matter what. But I also look back and understand after I got these other screenshots of text messages why we never made it to the Best in Show, why we never won the Best in Show, right?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. You think people, when you say Tom Brady, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
He's a douche.
Well, I'm talking about as far as what he's
accomplished. I mean, he's a champion.
Exactly. 7 Super Bowls, right? What about Deflategate? What about all the hiding his phone and crashing it and smashing his phone? Nobody cares. But when it's all over, that was all that season. Anybody
and that's what I said. Nobody knows. And if I didn't say anything about this, nobody ever questions it, right? Because eventually Flair was going to be a champion, no matter what. We were sticking it out, and we were getting our little points here and there. You know what I'm saying? But I was also never hid the fact that I didn't believe that if the right bullies was in the building that day, right, that Flair should win the Best in Show. And they were always like, why? Why can't he? It's a bully registry. And there is some badass standard and pocket bullies out there that show very well, no matter what registry they're in, that I had to go against. And there's a guy in Lubbock, they call him Devo, but they've got a dog that he worked with. That dog is on point. I don't ever expect to beat that dog if I have to go up against it, right? Because for one, Flair was never worked within the show ring like that. We just showed up and started showing him. You know, Ari did great with him. He worked great for him. He stacks great. But there's so much more we could do, right? And it shows in the fact that even though I know the tables was stacked against us, there was judges that it came down to Flair and Sub-Zero, right? And a judge have to walk them 3 or 4 times before he makes his decision. And we lost those a lot of the times. But out of the 3 or 4 times, Pete Ellis's dog didn't fuck up, right? And Flair, he gets bored. So the 3rd or 4th time, he going to act an ass. So I can't fault... I can't look back and say, okay, you know, this is whatever. But have I heard judges say, I told you were going to win, bro. I got you and all. Hell yeah, I did. At TCBR. Matter of fact, the last TCBR show I went to, and the reason I never went back, was because the judge told me Flair didn't win because his back legs wasn't right when I stacked him. Only to have the dog that beat me sitting down in front of me. And then afterwards hear him say, bro, I got you. I told you. You was going to win this weekend. I told you. The fuck, bro? Then why do I even waste my... Just tell me. Tell me before I go in the ring. Hey, look, bro, I owe him something. I'm going to let him win this week. All right, you know.
You know that ain't going to happen.
No, but they want to play it, you know. And I ain't going to lie, when we had the Flair category at Frenchie Bowl, I know how they feel, though, these judges and shit, with their buddies. Because you have everybody or somebody calling you, oh, God, I got to win. You know I got to win. I got to win. I got to win. I got to win. No, I can't do that. I'm the dude that sits here bitches about shows being rigged and shit. I can't rig this class. I had so much stress and lost so much sleep over that Flair class. And then I finally found a judge, and I didn't disagree with his picks. He could have picked any of the dogs in that class, and I wouldn't have disagreed with him. But again, they wasn't my picks. I still wouldn't have picked the same dogs he picked.
I guess other classes had problems.
Yeah. So I don't want to. But a judge is a human, and a judge is going to like even if he's not taking outside influence from anybody, right? There's going to be things he likes and he dislikes on dogs or she, whoever the judge is. And just because they didn't like your dog that week doesn't mean the show was absolutely rigged. I can point out a rigged show, and I don't think, there's some shows you go to, you're just not going to win.
We strayed way off of Poodle.
I know,
fucking
but
fucking Poodle.
That fucking Poodle, but yeah, but the deal with the Poodle was it did get to that. I mean, if it's going to go this way, and these registries are going to open up to all breeds, it's going to change. It's going to change the people at the show, the environment at the show.
If somebody else start another one, then somebody else start another registry, because that's what happened. That's how they were born, right?
TCBR started because they was pissed off at USBR, right?
Well,
USBR started.
Any of that started because the AKC ain't going to let you show your bully, right?
Well, USBR started because UKC banned Ed Shepard and wouldn't allow him to register any of his dogs. So he started USBR so he could register Dax and all of that. Again, ABKC started because there was nowhere to register the dogs, right? So this was like an East Coast, West Coast battle. ABKC, USBR, they were on different coasts working on the dogs or whatever. And in my opinion, ABKC has been the only one that has set a standard and stuck to it. Everybody else will change the standard and add more. I mean, you got the hybrid bulls out there and all of that where you can register a Frenchie bred to a bully. Boom, there you go. You bred them. You register it as a hybrid or an exotic.
So
or
where
whatever.
do you go with that?
Whichever direction you want. I mean,
no. I mean, just like registering it, like, okay, so you got a hybrid now. What's
ABR?
the requirement on the next generation of breeding?
It doesn't matter. It's always a hybrid after that.
So there's not a guideline that you could breed it to a poodle after that, and
it's always a hybrid after that. Yeah, you can breed a bully to a fucking poodle. You can do anything and register. ABR has the hybrid. USBR has the exotic. TCBR will let you register a dog that you found on the street corner and don't even know where the hell it came from. They'll do a one-off registry, which screws a lot of people because if you sell dogs as a pet home in the bully world, which there's no AKC paperwork or
there's no pet home period, right?
Right. You know what I'm saying? But now they can take that dog, or somebody owes you money on a dog, right? Say you done payments. You'll get your papers when you pay me off. Well, now they take that dog to TCBR. TCBR gives them paperwork for that dog, that one-off registry right there. Now they don't have to pay you shit. They got the papers to the dog in the bully world, and they can breed that dog. They can transfer those papers to USBR, to ABR, to, you know what I'm saying? So they've got paperwork, and that's where it's going to screw up. I mean, it's going to get bad. I mean, that's bad all the way around. No registry should allow a single registry dog, period. If you don't have paperwork, or you can't tell me who the parents was and who the producer of that dog was, you should not get paperwork, right? They should say, hey, I bought this dog from Jackoff Jones over here, but he didn't get paperwork from USBR or Yakety Yak, right? But I would like to show TCBR, and he's okay with it, whatever. They can call that guy, and he can be like, yeah, this is what happened, but this is its parents, and I have their paperwork, right? Well, okay. Well, now you can say, okay, well, both of them dogs was USBR, but we'll register this one TCBR because whatever happened, they didn't register the litter USBR because there for a while they wasn't sending out papers to nobody.
So if you have a dog that, just say you have an XL bully, it's not exotic, it's not
right.
You can just obtain paperwork for that,
yeah,
and start like at that blood, like
yeah.
This is point A, like
yeah.
no history.
Yes.
Interesting.
You see, and then that's where again, these registries don't understand they're screwing a whole group of people that started them. You know, it should not be accepted, and that's eventually some of these registries are just going to fall flat on their face. There's too many of them out there. There's too much of it. They're either going to have to combine into one big one, or they're going to fall apart because they're not going to continue. And I feel like open it up to all breeds is probably going to, maybe it doesn't shut the registry down, but they don't have the bullies and the Frenchie turnout.
It's got to be a money play. Like, there's no other reason to do it, right? Like, they
that's
need
all
the
it
money,
is.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, to grow.
Let's think about it, though.
So obviously, so if they didn't do that, to flip it, so if they don't do that, they're obviously doing it because they have to. Because why would you risk?
Well, you think about it. You think about it. So they'll probably get some bully litters, right? Which is quite a few litters. But they totally miss out on the Frenchies. Nobody is registering a Frenchie litter with them. So they're not getting litter registration. While they might get single registration from Frenchies to show up and show in they're not getting those litter registrations because nobody's registering their Frenchies TCBR. They're all AKC. So AKC is raking in all of that money. And what they don't understand, opening it up to all breeds is fine, but they're still not, nobody's going to buy a TCBR dog unless it's a bully, American bully.
You say that, but I think that's not it. Maybe it's not true on the level you're talking about, but like I think that if you're allowing people to register, so like Rowdy's AKC, right. But when I bought him, he was a pet, and I don't know what I did with his paperwork, so I could never register him. AKC. I should have did it back 8 years ago. So I could go to the TCBR and get paperwork on him. Yeah. And then I could breed him to another dog that I got TCBR paperwork on. Right. Another lab. Right. And then somebody buys that lab pet home because that's the majority of what you're going to sell. They don't 90% of all the Frenchies puppies that I've sold, they went with paperwork. They might not have been full rights, but they went with the AKC paperwork. But when I go and look, like only maybe 10% of them. Yeah, maybe 10% of them's been registered.
You're looking at it from the standpoint of selling pet homes. So you're not going to find another breeder. And I'm sorry, there is some people out there that if it ain't AKC, they don't want it, period. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's true.
But, I mean, I'm not saying that you won't sell dogs with TCBR paperwork. You won't never sell a Frenchie for the money to breeding. If you have a stud Frenchie that's only TCBR registered, that motherfucker's never working.
But that's what I'm talking about. Is like you're talking about it on a scale that maybe their play is not necessarily, I don't want to say quality, but you're talking about quantity. If you can get somebody that can get paperwork on a dog, there's a CPR registry, right? Right. You know where that son of a bitch is located? Is at Kenton, right. at the Trace Days. You can go down there and do the same thing you're talking about here. You can go, hey, I got a lab that's got paperwork that I bred to an English bulldog, and I'm gonna call it a Bullador. And I unplugged myself. I did something. Oh, okay. I can hear it. Yeah. But anyways, so you can do that, right. And they'll give you paperwork right then that says a certified pet registry. Right. And a lot of those breeders there are giving that paperwork up. Right. Because people they ask, are these dogs registered? And you say yes. They don't care.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but
I'm not advocating for it. I'm just saying
like the poodle people, and truly the English bulldog people, the real AKC dogs, they spent money for those AKC papers to get them with the dog. Why are you going to turn around and try to sell dogs with TCBR paperwork for a fraction of the price when I get it. If you wanted to say,
maybe
okay,
they know that's not their competition,
so
it's a different model.
there is a model for it in the fact that, okay, if you want a pet and you want some kind of paperwork with you, I'm going to register it TCBR and give you the TCBR paperwork, not the AKC paperwork, because the AKC paperwork is more valuable than the TCBR paperwork. But if you just want to say your dog is registered, you're going to get the TCBR, the USBR, or whatever.
So you're talking about it on a breeder level?
Yeah.
Look, just think about it like this. If I got a Frenchie, if I got two Frenchies that I ain't got no paperwork for, and I go register them with a TCBR, and then I breed those dogs, and I produce a litter of 4, and these people come looking at them, they're like, oh, are they registered dogs? Yes, ma'am, they are. They're registered with TCBR. Who's that? Well, this is the certified bully registry.
Right.
Well, it's legit, and it adds perceived value to that litter.
Well, and that's what I was just saying. You can.
So they can make money off of that breeder, and I challenge you. So, how many people do you think is out there, truthfully, that's a breeder that sells exclusively or mostly to other breeders? I bet you that percentage is so small. It's the point of the pyramid. It's so small. The majority of people out there, if you're making money selling dogs on the back end, it's to pet homes. Like, I ain't never sold to a breeder.
That's all I sell to.
Well, see, but that's what I'm saying. You're looking at it through that prism, to where I'm looking at it like, all my dogs are AKC.
And that's what I
but
said.
if they weren't, it's like the dog I got from Ian that I got screwed on the AKC paperwork,
Right.
and then I didn't. He said that he sent me this other one. Oh, this is the right paperwork, but at that point I didn't trust it because and I was too new, so I couldn't risk, having a dog with hung papers.
Right.
But in retrospect, if I'd have went to TCBR and I'd have took my other stud and registered him dual registry, well, now I could give legit paperwork with a dog.
And that's what I'm saying. There is a place for those paperwork, especially if you're selling to pet homes. And I know a lot of pet home people just want to say that their dog was registered somewhere, right?
Yes.
But you don't want to give them, you're selling it as a pet home. You don't want to give them AKC paperwork, because if you give them the full AKC paperwork that they want, right, that they would wanted, and they register them, now they can get a bigger amount for their puppies because they are AKC. But if you give them TCBR or USBR papers to a Frenchie, it is going to limit their market on selling.
So let's be honest, though. If they had to get the TCBR paperwork, they were probably they didn't buy that dog for $15,000.
That's what I'm saying.
They were buying a lesser. If they couldn't get the AKC paperwork with the dog, they were buying a lesser dog.
Right.
Now, what registry? It doesn't cheapen the registry, but like they went there because.
But that's what we're basically saying the same thing is that it's a tool you can use for some of these people and they're never going to register the damn dog, like you said. They just want to be able to say that, hey, this was a registered dog, that these were legitimately purebred dogs or whatever, right? Here you go. And off with your paperwork. There you go. Now, down the road, you may find out that some of these people are going to talk to their aunts, uncles, nephews, cousins, brothers, nieces, third time removed, that has AKC Frenchies, and they wanted to breed them together, and come to find out all they got is TCBR paper, and now they're going to come back and be like, hey, you screwed me because you said this dog was registered. Now the dog is registered. That you'll run into that once in a blue moon.
Those people were stupid. You're arguing the exemption now. That person probably should own a dog.
You're right, but you know what I'm saying is that somebody in their family down the road, their cousin's neighbor, whatever, has them, and now they want to breed them together. And this asshole asks them, hey, well, do you have AKC? Do you have paperwork for it? They say, yeah. Well, then they breed the dogs together. And then come to find out, one of them's TCBR, the other one's AKC. And the dude that's got the AKC dog is like, hey, you owed me a registered puppy, and I ain't taking a TCBR puppy. So now that trickles back down to you, but still that's once in a blue moon. I mean, it's just easier to give them the limited registration with AKC for the Frenchies. But in the bully world, it screws breeders if they do these one-off registrations, because there's so many deals. And you know it. You've put a puppy out there on payments. Frenchies, again, we're talking about a different breed and a different standard to it. But in the bully world, you put a puppy out there on payments, and you're going to hold the papers as this is what you got to pay me to get, right? If they can take that dog and go to TCBR and register it, now they don't need to pay you the rest of your money to get the papers for that dog.
I probably wouldn't have let that dog go then.
See, and that's here we go. Now we're running into the deal where you can't put a dog out on payments because if they can go register the damn dog without any other paperwork.
You can't put them out on payments, but you can still take payments. You just gonna have to if you're not gonna take the risk, you have to house the dog.
Right, and that's the thing. You have to house the dog until they pay it off. Which runs into the fact that now you're gonna have to charge them a little more because now you're gonna have room and board and feeding this dog for.
Look, I've done it all. I've already done that with the Frenchie. I don't really have a problem with holding a dog till 16 weeks.
Yeah, I'm talking that, but you're fixing to find out in the bully world.
No, I'm not, because I'm doing this for me. I ain't trying to, I want a bully.
They going to pay you, but they going to pay you about $25 every 3 months and expect you to hold this. Had a guy in Lubbock named Alan. The dude owed Alan like fucking $300 on this dog to pay it off. Alan wouldn't let the dog go till it was paid off, right? But he kept it at his house for a year, waiting on this dude to pay that $300. A year and a half. This dog done been in heat and out of heat 3 times. She was on her 4th heat, and Alan was like, I'm on the breeder. And I was like, well, why? It's your dog. He ain't paid for it.
Right.
He said, but this guy raising hell wanted his money. No, his money is gone. You've held this dog for over a year without a payment on it.
So you don't think change is coming to this breed? Like I do. I'm nobody. It's just a hunch. It's like the stuff that I watch online. I think the Frenchies, they're not at the end of a run. Like it's fixing to switch.
So,
like all this DNA that's been accumulating is fixing to get transferred into structure. Like it's for Frenchies. This is what I feel like. They're going to get better now. That's the concentration. Bullies, from what I gather, there's no DNA. There's no real. All the stuff the Frenchies been going through.
No health test, none of that.
Right. So I think that's the next logical step. So I think if you're going to breed bullies 3 years from now and you don't do that, it's going to be like Frenchies. When I started buying Frenchies, if you didn't have the DNA and the health test done, you wasn't going to get that money.
So I feel like the market's headed for a crash like it did, I don't know, 7-8 years ago. And there wasn't a whole lot of shows going on, and the Frenchies came back around, kind of revived it, and got everybody spending money again, getting the bully people. But
so what was the economy doing during that time, though? Because I got a question. I want to say, like drag racing.
Yeah.
You can, I can't guarantee it, but I bet you if you researched it, like it'll rise and fall with the economy because it's a luxury. This is a luxury hobby,
right?
Regardless of whether you make money off of it or not. So like going to a dog show is something you're not going to do if bread is $8 a loaf,
right? Well, and that's the thing, because even in dirt track racing, it was that way. Where for a few years the car count every night at the local track total was 500.
Yeah.
Let the economy get bad, and you're lucky to have 50 cars total at the track.
Yeah,
because,
you go from 10 classes to 4.
And the stands where they're normally packed are not that packed anymore because people are not spending money on that. And that's kind of where we are right now with gas being $4 a gallon and diesel $5 a gallon and all of that. It's the dog money is stud money. They'll just breed to their neighbor's ugly dog because it's free. They're not going, unless
the problem is if the economy is bad for the studs, when you produce those puppies, guess what?
It's bad for your puppies.
I seen a post that that was one of the. I was going to try to go back and find it. There was a lady that had a litter. She was just giving away.
Yeah,
of Frenchies.
Just
I don't even remember what group it was that I seen that flash across.
Goddamn, I wish I could have had Frenchies to give away. I couldn't even keep neither one of my litters alive this time. It's just bad luck, and I ain't never had it. But it's just something's got to change. And I know the money in the Frenchies is not the money that was there 4 years ago, 3 years ago, even 2 years ago. You got people still running around out there pissed off because a few years ago they gave $30,000 for a dog, and the dogs had 3 damn litters, and they didn't even make their $30,000 back on it.
Man, a Frenchie is like buying a new car.
So
the minute you change that paperwork into your name, that bitch depreciated.
And
you, there's that few. So let me ask you, all the you talked about how many litters, like the explosion of litters, registered litters.
Right.
That ain't even just the litter count.
Right.
Like that's just registered litters with one registry.
right.
Like over a few years. Like you can't produce that much and maintain demand.
And that's what I said. Frenchies had a high value because there was not many of them being produced when this fad started, right? So, and then adding all in the different stuff just helped it grow in value and all of that and maintain it. And then again, whether I could tell people this, whether I like them or you like them or none of them like them, there was a few people in the dog, especially on the Frenchie side, that helped keep that market up there by their marketing, by their standards, right? Because if they're selling dogs for $100,000, well, there's a tier to it. Well, the next best breeders can sell theirs for $80,000 and $60,000.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And on down. So even the low guy was selling his for $10,000 because, hey, I got the same shit. I just don't have his name that he's selling for $100,000, but I can sell you one for $10,000, right? So that's when, let's say when Lilac and Tans was out. Okay, well, they're selling theirs over there for $100,000. Well, I can sell you one for $10,000. Crazy thing about it is that $10,000 dog probably turned out better than the $100,000 dog. But I mean, there is, you look at like a Justin Crawford and Isaac, Aaron J. There was the people that own YOLO, Gary Eros and Vincent Liao and them in Vegas. There was people that kept that market up.
Man, you speaking of him, like I've seen him talking about, I got a Isabella and Tan Fluffy 1500 right now, Gary.
Oh yeah.
Like like he's come across my feed a lot with.
He sells dogs for a lot of different people. So if people can't sell, they'll just hit him up. Hey, can you sell a dog for me? Yeah. Or it's on a pup back deal. But I'm going to.
Man, that's taboo. You know, most people chastise you for getting down there like that.
But he doesn't
breeders,
hide it. He don't.
Wow. Well, kudos to him because most.
But he's always been honest with me. If I've messaged him about one of them dogs, he'll tell me, you don't want this motherfucker.
Well, I can't imagine anybody would want it in the breeding world. Like I feel like that's a pet when you put it on that price point. Like that's pet. Right, that's pet price point.
Because he had a dog one time that one of our old partners was wanting, and I messaged him and I was like, hey, I got a partner's. It was like $1,500 dog. She had just lost the litters or something. She didn't hit, and she was trying to do something to generate money. So I hit him up and I was like, hey, got a partner. She's wanting that dog. We're going to run it to Flair. And he's like, hell no, you ain't doing that to Flair. He's like, no. He said, I don't care how good he could produce. You ain't putting this bitch to him because this is not the female that y'all want, you know? So, but he did find her one and it worked out. But yeah, so there's a crash in the market. I mean, even I had to sit down with Brandon and Kim the other night, and you now are going to have to focus on something and decide, okay, this is the way we're going. This is what we're doing. And this is all we're concentrating on, which is what I used to do. That's how Flair ended up in the world. Every breeding we done was to lead to Flair. Once we made Flair, I kind of screwed up and just started playing the market and seeing what we could hit and make money on, right? I never refocused into one objective again to say, okay, this is what I'm going to produce. And I'm going to put everything in there and I'm going to push my chips in and say, I might not be the first on the market, but I'm going to be the best on the market when it comes out.
It's a scary proposition because I mean, when you focus on just one, I guess you just don't know. It's like the velvet big ropes. Like I ain't gonna say that he couldn't see that wasn't gonna launch, but it doesn't surprise me that they don't, like, especially because you're not gonna sell those pet home.
Right.
That is a breeder to breeder thing. Like or the people that's gonna buy those dogs pet home is so niche.
Right. You look at say the Rojo. Everybody's still chasing it today.
Well, that's a
in
color,
every
though,
variant.
That's not a coat characteristic. That's not like the
But
flutal.
that's what I'm
not like
saying.
the velvet.
Right.
That's not. Yeah. So I mean that transcends every
Right. So
every
and
style.
that's the thing. And let's be honest. I mean, I can make flare in a smaller package. I can do. There's a lot of shit we can still do. But if I focus on what I want and put all my energy to say, okay, I want a 12-pound flare, but I want him head big. It's just going to be look like a damn 8-week puppy on steroids, right? There's a lot of work that goes into that. I don't ever want a 12-pound flare, just so everybody knows. But you look, there's a little Ricky out there that's 2 times flare that he's smaller than flare. But he ain't going to work no more than flare. I'm sorry. I'm not being mean. But it's already been done, right? There's flare. There's him. There's other small dogs out there. Being a small dog just doesn't cut it anymore.
There's huskies out there that's small.
Right.
Like
You know?
Husky Supreme.
Right.
Like I seen him. I put hands on him
Right.
at Frenchie Bowl 3.
Right.
And he's
Right.
they're comparable.
And I mean,
they're comparable in size.
Carrot's not much bigger than little Ricky.
No.
You know what I'm saying? He's in there, got a hell of a big ass head on him and all of that. So it's easy for me to say, okay, I got Carrot. I'll just find another right female. I can produce a Rojo Koi that is a little Ricky size.
Who's to say that Big Rob ain't working with somebody to?
Oh, I'm sure
If he's
he
smart,
is.
if he's smart, he is, right?
If he's smart, he is, you know. But all I'm going to say is, and this is across the board for all breeders, there's a difference between buying the pie and knowing how to bake the pie.
Well, I mean, that's true on all things, and I guess you know what. I ain't going to go down that road to where you're calling somebody not a breeder.
I'm not saying they're not,
because T-Raw's not here to hold up that end of the fight,
right? But
I'm gonna just say this: there is a skill to knowing what you are not skilled in,
right?
And if you know, like just in general, I'm not talking about anybody specific, but if you know you're not a fucking mechanic and you're building a car, you're not a bad person because you go hire a very good mechanic.
Right.
If you're not a painter,
right,
and, or a body man, and you build the car, the chassis, and then you take it and go get it painted.
And there was no
you're
shots
not lesser
at Rob over that or nothing.
No, I wouldn't get that. But it's because I was bringing up the argument that we all got into last time,
right,
on the built not bought thing.
I'm just saying that buying dogs and breeding together, while all great, and that's still their vision, right? I will stand on that and say, I don't care. You bought these 2 dogs, you run them together. I don't care if you bought them from the same person, different people, or whatever. It was your choice to buy the dogs and run them together. It's yours, right?
Right.
I don't care if it's 2 times flared, 20 times flared. If you done it, it's yours. I'm not trying to lay claim to any of that, but what I'm saying is, if you don't understand how those dogs was built that you bought, you can run off course real quick.
Well, no, that'll be obvious. Like in the second and third generation
Right.
production, like that, when they start coming apart or
Right.
they're not consistently.
And if you don't
the inconsistency when you don't see consistent, like, oh yeah, that's a Ricky pup or
Right.
that's a flare pup.
Right.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, or Teddy Grahams, whatever. If you don't pay attention to, I can get by with shit in my lines, especially with flare, because I know what's in his pedigree and I know what to stay away from, right? Well, when you buy dogs, you see the pedigrees, but you don't know the dogs in the pedigree. you physically never laid hands on those dogs. Well, with Flair, every female for 5 or 6 generations, me and Gabe laid hands on. Those were ours. They were in our camp. So we know, and the studs, we did pretty much in-person breedings damn near on every one of them. So I knew what they were in person. If you don't understand all of that, you can buy these dogs and you can produce. And I hate to use little Ricky because I don't want him to think we're taking shots at him, but you can produce a little Ricky. And anybody can do this, right? A lot of people get lucky and they do this, or they're smart enough to buy these dogs and do this. But then they start going the wrong direction. And even though they think, oh, well, look, that female is small, like this dog over here. If I breed them together, it's going to be magic. Well, the problem is you don't pay attention to the pedigrees, and you might be doing a big-time inbreed, which screws up all your genetics.
Or that dog don't have small structure behind it.
Right. And
like in that pedigree.
It could be a one-off dog.
Yeah. Hypergenetics.
You know, I will say little Ricky is not a one-off dog because I seen his sisters, and they were the same size as little Ricky, right? So you would assume, and I've seen a lot of Flair kids, and he's 2 times Flair. And it baffles everybody to say, how did you 2 times Flair it and get that size? It's the dogs in Flair's pedigree. If you can get them to match up with the other ones, the other dogs you're breeding to, this is what you're going to get.
You're saying that because Flair's bigger than Ricky.
Right.
But I mean, that's the same thing. Like, so he was produced off a bunch of small dogs. He just happened to be genetically inclined
to throw
bigger. He's bigger.
Right.
Like, he physically is bigger, but the percentage of size dog that's in his deal is greater, is smaller.
Right. But I mean, all of Flair's siblings is smaller than him. We overfeed Flair. He's fat. I'm not gonna lie. He's thick.
He's fat.
But like, he had a brother. He was a black merle and tan, non-fluffy carrier. He got the least amount of DNA possible in that, but he was a little Ricky size, right? So we knew it was there. He got a sister, just a little Ricky size. I mean, the litter was there. Flair just got the bigger fluffy gene.
I mean,
breedings out of it, you know.
Well, I mean, no difference.
He's 2 times Shaq, so he got.
Well, I mean, yeah. So Shaq's parents ain't Shaq's size,
right?
Like, he's a one-off,
right?
Like, they you know,
right. So, you know, and King Kong and all that. So he got their size, but he's got the ability to throw smaller because the majority of the dogs in the other side of his pedigrees are small.
Well, absolutely. Shaquille O'Neal has normal-sized children,
right? You know, so and I mean, and you look at it this way: little people, midgets, have full-size kids too.
I don't know what the proper call name is for
dwarf. I don't know what they are anymore, but you can see them. So just because a dog is small doesn't mean it's going to continuously throw small, and just because a dog's big doesn't mean it's only going to throw big.
Maybe vertically challenged,
right?
American.
So I'm guessing they're having some midget boxing at Off the Leash. Is the first match?
Man, I think they're having some right down the road at the lake.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it already happened. Maybe it already happened. Yeah.
Damn. I want to go.
I was gonna go, but I think I even put interest on that thing, and maybe it hadn't happened yet.
You need to find out. But
it's at the resort.
Really? I thought that place was shut down.
Lake Palestine, the resort right out there where that big marina is, and yeah. I think it's gonna be there.
Oh, you need to check that out.
Well, there you go.
So.
All right.
But all right, I think we probably beat these horses to death enough.
Man, I think we went down several rabbit holes.
Yeah.
There. In summation, The Jungle was a good dog show. And fuck a poodle.
I mean, The Jungle is always going to be The Jungle. Love it or like it, it's either your type of show or it ain't your type of show. Love it or leave it. I mean, and expect June Williams to do the unexpected.
I just look at it like this. Who's going to beat the fucking poodle with a bully? Like just
And that's
quit-
what I want to know.
Quit bitching about it. Quit crying about it. Go be about it. Breed that
Next
motherfucker.
year,
Next
yeah,
year.
bring a bully in there that they can't deny can work in that damn ring and outwork that
You
poodle.
goddamn train so well it'll go get you a beer. Come on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what it comes down to is training.
And
Don't
bring it fluffy, man. Shave that some bitch up.
Yeah, I'm gonna make Flair look like a lion, and we're gonna go in there and we're
I'm
gonna give it
talking about
hell.
a fluffy bully. Like,
Yeah, I mean anything. An XL fluffy, shave that motherfucker to look like a lion, and bring that fucker in there to go against that fucking
I'm
poodle.
gonna shave it to look like a goddamn poodle.
Yeah, put the little poofies on its ass and all of that. It just
Fuck it. I guess we're gonna do. I ain't gonna mess with the floodles, but I didn't say nothing about them boodles.
we can go there, but all right. Until next time, y'all take it easy.
Welcome inside the kennel, the heartbeat of the dog game, where real breeders break down real experiences, and the experts drop the knowledge you can't Google. We're talking structure, bloodlines, nutrition, training, wins, losses, and everything that makes champions in and out of the ring. This is for the ones who live it, breathe it, and build it, one lit at a time.